Hello survivors and welcome to another Walking Dead Road to Survival video, and in this video we're going to be taking a first look at Gold Mythic Jiafeng, who is going to be a promo character coming to RTS. Now she should not be part of a premiere will from what I understand, but she will be more promo, so keep an eye out for more information with regards to how to obtain this character. Visually on the right hand side you can see she kind of looks like she's a fast character. If you notice on the left hand side, she's actually throwing the dagger. So if I show the animation of her attack, you can see she is throwing the dagger. I like the hand extension and stuff like that. It looks pretty cool. And the sound is very meaty for a melee sound. Well, it's not a melee sound, but for a knife throwing sound. I don't think there's too many sounds like this in the game. I don't think normal fast characters sound like this. It sounds a bit more beefier than usual. If we look at her, like her visuals, you can see she's got the hooks, a little nod to her 6-star perhaps. Lots of knives in her kit. Visually, this is her fully upgraded at Limit Break 3. As you can see on her stats, she is Limit Break 3 level 720, and she looks exactly like her art on the left-hand side. If we look at her stats, you can see at level 720, Limit Break 3, she has got 15,171 attack, 17,700 defense, 17,700 HP. These are her base stats without lieutenants. And without a weapon and other parts of her kit, which will amplify some of this. We'll get into that a little bit later. She is an alert character, like I mentioned. She is considered support, a mythic character, of course. And obviously, she is going to be a part of the Typhoon Allegiance. So I believe she is the second character now to join the Typhoon Allegiance, with Mr. Lu already being in game. And no doubt, more characters to follow. So first, we are going to check out her Adrenaline Rush, and it is called Sustained Combat. Has got a recharge rate of 55 AP, which generally points in the direction of her being used on a defense team. Deal 30% of this character's max HP in main damage to a single enemy. Heal this character for 100% of their max HP. So not too bad in terms of it's got some, takedown potential there. And if you rank up her HP nice and high, and I can tell you she has got parts of her kit will make her HP nice and high, you're going to be doing a lot of main damage here. 30% of her HP can be as high as a lot of damage dealers who have no amplification on their hit points, of course. And don't forget, main bypasses bonus HP, and we do see a bit of bonus HP being used on attack teams right now, with William being used quite a lot, and I see Skins having a bit of a boost. Bonus HP is very nice, but main completely bypasses it because it lowers the max HP, which in turn will just completely bypass the bonus HP. The second half is quite nice. Obviously, she just healing up 100% of her max HP. It does mean she's going to counter certain things that are in the game. For instance, Mr. Lu, if you use him on an attack team and you've got him at Limit Break 3, he can do 100% infection. Even if Jiafeng is at like 100% HP already, if she gets this rush off, this will still count as a 100% heal, and it will still heal over that infection, unless she has got heal reduction. That's just obviously one thing to note. But that is obviously a very, very nice big heal. Regardless of how much HP she's got, she's going to counter some parts of the game. Okay, so we are going to do the rush of Jiafeng here. She has got 45,000 max HP as it stands, and she has got no mods, and there is no lieutenant system on this test account. It's just her base stats plus her weapon plus a Pamela lead. So her HP can obviously go through the roof. We are going to target someone with reasonably high HP that she's not potentially going to one-shot here. She should do around about 14,000 I think in the main because of her there we go, 13,500. And obviously, that's going to stack with any other character that you have that has MAME. And it does seem like Alert is being pushed towards more like MAME-style teams. This is going to work with Pamela. This is going to work with Kapoor in the same team, on an attack team, on a defense team. Obviously, it would be completely up to you. Now, you also saw that she obviously got healed up to 100% HP, up to that 45,000 total. So that's always going to be nice, no matter how much HP she's got. She only lost about 7,000 HP there, but it's always nice to be topped up to max HP. But if you're at like 10% of your HP and you just get 100% heal instantly, it's going to be very frustrating to deal with that sort of thing on a defense team, but it's going to be very useful. I think in challenge run, this character is going to be awesome. Like I say, Pamela, Kapoor, and Jiafeng look to be like quite a nice combo, just off the top of my head. And her base HP is just already nuts. Like I say, 45,000 without lieutenant system, without mods, without a fully upgraded weapon. It's just her base weapon, which I think has 30 or 35% HP on it already. So we'll check that out in a moment, but we'll check out other parts of her kit and why her HP is that high already. But first off, we'll look at the upgrades for her Adrenaline Rush. And grade 3, she gets plus 25% healing. So it goes from 25% to 50%. At grade 5, she gets 10% main damage. So it goes from 10% to 20%. At Limit Break 1, she gets another 50% healing. So it goes from 50% up to 100%. And then at Limit Break 2, she gets another 10% main. So it goes from 20% up to 30%. That's quite a big leap at Limit Break 2, basically. That means you need to get 4 of this character at Limit Break 2. She does not have a Limit Break 3 upgrade on her Adrenaline Rush, but that will no doubt be on her signature move and her passives. Now, talking of her signature move, she has got one called Relentless Pain. I like the art, the visuals look nice, the little image. Initial cooldown of turn 1, which is ideal, 1 or 2 for a 55 AP character. Cooldown of 2 turns. Number of uses unlimited. Deal 20% of this character's max HP in main damage to a single enemy. This character gets a Guardian Shield. So pretty straightforward. On an attack team, you're going to do this before the defense manages to go off. So you're going to be able to give yourself a Guardian Shield. Very, very helpful. 20% of her max HP is going to work into her kit and how it works with her Adrenaline Rush. So you can just be basically stacking HP on this character. Is going to make her harder to take down and make her do more damage. Seems ideal. The Guardian Shield is a nice little bonus on top. She definitely needed a first or second turn signature move to be able to get a natural turn 3 rush on a defense team without AP on attack. So you can make her have a stat-based weapon and she's going to be absolutely fine. On an attack team, I think she can get away with it a little bit as well because she's 55 AP. I don't think she actually needs AP on attack. It isn't like other characters where they actually need to get AP from another source, like an 8% or something, because they're 66. And you can only get 65 AP in the first 2 turns with a signature move and a basic attack. So it is nowhere near as bad on Jiafeng here. So now we got her signature move, and we're going to do again the same sort of deal. We target a character, we swipe left for the signature move. We'll do 20% of her max HP, which is 9,000. And you can see she gets the Guardian Shield. This is a nice little, first turn. It doesn't matter if it's on attack or defense. On attack, the best bit about it is, like I said, she's done it before the attack defense has a chance to do anything. So if you're using her in challenge run or something like that, she's getting a Guardian Shield. And then if you have another character that has Guardian Specialist, you're going to have 3 Guardian Shields up turn 1. You could potentially use her in a team. I wouldn't necessarily say this is the way to go, but like let's say you had Conrad lead, you'd have 4 Guardian Shields up. It's just an extra Guardian Shield. It can be very useful. And just like her Adrenaline Rush, that main scales off of the HP. So the higher the HP goes, the better. And like I said, no Lieutenant system. Yeah, I think you could easily get her HP to like 60, 70k by the way it feels. Especially in the future with, Limit Break 3 coming out in a circle and stuff like that. So we'll have to see how that goes. You can see some crazy HP numbers on some of these characters. We'll look at the upgrades here. You can see at grade 2, it gets a -1 to cooldown. So it goes from 3 turns to 2 turn cooldown, which is nice. At grade 3, it goes -1 starting cooldown, so it goes from 2 turns to 1 turn, and then a big jump up to Limit Break 3 to get another 10% main damage, so it goes from 10% to 20%. This is actually quite important if you want to utilize her for a damage dealer, but if you want to utilize her more as a support character that is just going to be an annoyance on a defense team, not necessarily someone who's going to have a lot of kill potential, you don't necessarily have to get the main damage as high as possible. But the Guardian Shield is there regardless of what tier you get her to, and that seems pretty decent on attack or defense. Next up, we'll check out Jiafeng's mythic abilities. These are her passive skills, and the first one is called Cunning, of course, because she's a support character. She's a 30% chance less likely to proc weapons when she attacks and when she is being attacked, so that's quite nice. On a defense team, on an attack team, doesn't matter too much. The next one is the big boost she was getting in those fights, because she was effectively getting another leader skill. She was getting another 30% max HP, and that means that she's getting like 4 multiplier potentials. She's getting leader skill, her weapon, teammates' weapons, and then this. And it will all multiply with each other because this happens on the roster screen. And because it happens on the roster screen, that means the number can just go so high, so high. Obviously, the combat mods come in at the end, so they don't multiply with everything, but The combat mods will add to that as well. The next one is called the Curse of Death. When this character dies, up to 3 enemies get 100% heal reduction for 2 turns. And I kind of feel like this is a combo character with this. I don't think it plays into her kit so much, but imagine you've got her and you've got another character in the team that has infection. And then, you know, this character dies, and then you infect some characters, they've got no chance of survival. And that's for 2 turns, and a lot of infections are 2 turns, whether it be 20%, 30%, 50%, or 100% in some cases. So I think this is more of a to help other characters, and obviously she is a support character, so that makes sense. Now her next passive is called Hidden Typhoon, and it is her last one. At the start of each wave, 100% chance all Typhoon Allegiance members get camouflage for the first 3 turns of combat. And this could potentially mean the entire team if you've got a full team of Typhoon characters. Now, I actually like this a lot because what this does is it makes there more potential of a Typhoon team actually being usable. I think that Allegiance buffs and stuff have not been really that great so far in the Mythic era in terms of using characters together with their Allegiance to get bonuses. And this is it. This is exactly it. So this right now it'd be her and Mr. Lu on a defense team, but it could be other characters in the future. Like we know there's Wang Fa from the S-Class era. We know there's other characters as well that could potentially come out. So yeah, definitely some very interesting potential here. Okay, so we'll start the fight, and you can see that the Typhoon characters on this team, Mr. Lu and Jiafeng, both have camouflage for the first 3 turns. If you remember how it worked with the Jesus Leader skill, it's going to be pretty much identical to that, but it's going to be Typhoon characters. The bonus here is that Jiafeng does not have to be the leader for this to work. So if, let's say, a Typhoon leader came out, 2 other Typhoon characters came out, the entire Typhoon team would get the bonus of that old leader skill, but just because of a Jiafeng passive. So very powerful potential on the combos here. Now, I'm not going to try and get Jiafeng taken out, to give you an example, but if she is taken out, let's say 3 characters would get 100% heal reduction. If I did land an infection on one of those characters, they just wouldn't have any potential to heal up at all, unless they somehow cleanse that heal reduction. That was the only way they could get through it. 100% heal reduction obviously is really, really powerful. So the combos with her and other characters seem to be pretty good. You don't want to be taking her out too early in a fight if she is on a defense team and the defense team is relying on more things to like infection. Otherwise, you are going to be in a lot of trouble. If we check out the upgrades on the passives, you can see at grade 1 she gets the first half of Healthy with 15% max HP bonus. At grade 2 she's going to get the first half of Cunning as usual. At grade 3 she's going to get the second half of Healthy, so she's going to get the big HP boost, which is going to amplify her damage output by grade 3 because of obviously her maim is based off of her HP. The Curse of Death, I guess that's going to be part 1. It is indeed. She gets part 1 of the 50% heal reduction, 100% total, but at grade 4 she only gets half of that. At grade 5 she gets Hidden Typhoon, and that's the first half of Hidden Typhoon, so 50% chance all Typhoon Allegiance members get camouflage for the first 3 turns. And then at Limit Break 1 she gets the second half of Cunning 2 as expected. At Limit Break 2 she gets the second half of the Curse of Death, so it goes up to 100% heal reduction if she's taken out to 3 enemies. And then lastly at Limit Break 3 she is going to get Hidden Typhoon 2, which is at the start of each wave, another 50% chance all Typhoon Allegiance members get camouflage for the first 3 turns of combat, and that will stack up to 100% as we saw. And that is honestly the big passive. I think 50% chance is okay, but 100% chance is what you want, realistically. Let's be honest, you want to have 100% chance. And these things can obviously be removed by enemies. You can have like ransack weapons. So there are ways to get around it. It's just very difficult. If you remember, like I say, from Jesus Leader skill, it's very frustrating to get around it. And what teams would kind of have to do is change up their attack team to more like single target based characters and not AoE based characters, which generally can take a little bit longer to get things done. Camouflage is very good at stopping enemies from just being able to hit that auto button and get an easy win. Now, Jiafeng does have a specialist skill, and it is Dexterity. This is a dual specialist skill. If this specialist takes damage, the amount taken is reduced based on their current AP. The more AP the specialist has, the less damage they take. If the character's health is above 20% and they take damage that would kill them, their health would be reduced to 19% instead. So they effectively get like a get out of jail free card. You know how this specialist skill works, or this dual specialist skill works. There's a couple of characters in the game right now with this, I think, and this has been one that I think a lot of people kind of got used to. It is kind of frustrating. The damage reduction is reasonable. But I think it's more just the fact that you can't one-shot a character like this. There are things that can bypass this. For instance, Infection does bypass this, so that's just a definite takedown. It isn't about taking a certain amount of damage. It's a definite takedown. I want to say Bleed and Burn do not bypass this, however, but they do proc separately. But we'll get onto something in her kit, which I think is going to make that not much of a problem. But yeah, Bleed and Burn, like, let's say Bleed would proc, let's say she got 5 million bleed, she'd go down to 19%, and then if she had another, like, 5 million burn, that would take her out. But if she only had burn or only had bleed, she'd be able to survive it. So, you know, if she has someone in her team that would be able to heal her up, she's going to work with strong characters. Like, she could work on a Pamela defense team, could have William on that team, just heal her back up. That means she's going to have to take 2 hits again to take her out. So it can be quite frustrating to take down specialists like this. Now, another part of her kit that is very interesting is her weapon. It's kind of hit and miss here, though. Visually, I think it looks awesome. Jiafeng's sturdy knives. I like the dagger style. You see how she throws it and stuff. I think it's pretty cool. If we look at the upgrades on it, it's got defense and HP. You can keep both of these and then just rank up that HP as much as you want, just because you want to amplify her damage. Because she does not need AP on a defense team, this is pretty ideal for a starting block weapon. However, the third slot is going to be an open window if she is on a defense team, but it has got some really nice boosts here. The only downside is it's only usable on a defense team, so it's kind of weird. Bleed and burn resist. While battling on the defense team, all alert and strong teammates get 100% bleed and burn resistance for the first turn of combat. Now, this is obviously to counter Ty, and it's to counter Zachary, basically. But you are just a complete open window. Easy AP gain. So what you could potentially do to try and counter that is, like, in the last slot, you do AP on defense to try and counter the fact that you're going to be a massive window. However, if you don't like this weapon, you can instantly just swap it out for whatever you want. A stun on defense weapon, if you prefer, completely windowless on the defense team, and I'm sure a lot of you have that weapon in your inventory already. Okay, so this was Gold Mythic Jiafeng, and she is going to be a promo character, like I said. She is not going to be part of a premier wheel, though, so keep your eyes peeled on how to obtain this character. And I think she is a character that is going to get stronger as time goes on, because one of the main parts of her kit, which makes her very interesting, is the fact that she's giving camouflage to Typhoon characters. Right now we only have 2 characters, including Jiafeng herself, and there are a bunch of characters that potentially could come out. If we remember back to previous eras, we had who did we have? We had Elena, we had Secretary Guo, Heng Yen, Wang Fa, Dayu. So there's potentially a number of more Typhoon characters to come out. There could be, up to 5 or more potentially. There could be a Mythic Trial as well. And if you didn't know already, Mythic Trial characters have had their allegiance changed from Mythic Allegiance, the Mythic Trial Allegiance, into the allegiance of the allegiance they're like part of as a Mythic Trial. So, you had Lori being changed to Atlanta. So if there was a Mythic Trial for Typhoon, they would be considered a Typhoon character and would get the buff from Jiafeng's passive here. So yeah, I think that's going to be interesting. It really depends on how many of those characters are going to be on, like, usable on defense teams, because I do see that as more of a defense kit. Still usable on attack. I think she's going to be great for challenge run, honestly. I think she's going to be really, really good for challenge run. Do tell me your thoughts on Jiafeng. Do you like her visuals? What do you think of her kit? What do you think of the potential more Typhoon characters to come out? Of those Typhoon characters, which do you want to see the most? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. That is the end of my video. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. And as always, keep on surviving, guys. Keep on surviving.